First of all, let me thank ISKCON Mississauga management for giving me an opportunity to speak. Let me assure you, nothing is from my own intelligence, nothing is concocted, everything is from the scriptures, everything is spoken by senior devotees, acharyas. What I am trying to do is just present them, hopefully in a simplified manner, so that first I can understand and it could be beneficial to you all. So what we will do is we'll start with our regular mantra, so now we will start with it. You can chant with me. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasharini Nirvishesh Sunyavadi Pashyanta Deshatani Om Ajnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandegam Sri Guru Devatapadakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganasi Raghunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvedam Abhadutam Parijana Sagitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. What I request today is a bit of a change. When Prabhupada was giving a course once upon a time, and he was seeing Jaya Radha Madhav, and he went into a trance. His eyes were closed, and for a moment people are wondering what's happening. The song got stopped for a brief, and then torrents of tears flowed from his eyes. So what we could do is, let's close our eyes for a minute and visualize Krishna the way you want to visualize, as a baby Krishna stealing butter, or a Krishna going to the forest with the gopas, with the 9 lakh cows, or a Krishna playing with Radharani and the gopis. Any form which comes to your mind. Generally they do meditation, this 5 fingers, what it represents is, this is mind, intelligence, ego. These are the 3 fingers. And you would have seen in meditation, they keep it like this. The reason is, they want this ego to merge with the Lord. Keep everything aside. Don't bring the ego, mind, intelligence, anything, and try to merge your devotion with the Supreme Lord. So for a minute, let's sing the song, close the song eyes, and see if we can see Krishna in some form. Because what we are going through is chapter 7, Bhakti Yoga. See, last time we gave a class on Ashtanga Yoga, it was not serious because we cannot practice. But Bhakti is something we should really start practicing. And today's class will be mostly on basics of Bhakti. Why we are unable to practice and how we can practice. So that would be the class. So let's start. If possible, close your eyes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Givaradhari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Dhiravachari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Dhiravachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Givaradhari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Dhiravachari Yashodanandana Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the schedule will have time till 6:20. So first we will read the slokas and the translation. A little bit fast so that we can spend more time on the class actually. Sloka number 19. Bhuvanam janmanam mante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Translation. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Kamesteta ritagyaha prapadyante anya devata tam tam niyamam ashtaya prakritya niyata sarvya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Sloka 21. Yo yo yam yam tamam bhaktaha shraddhaya chitam ichchati tasya tasyacharam shraddham tam eva vidadmiham. I am in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. 22. Saddhaya shraddhaya yuktas tasya dhanam mihate labate jagada kaman maya eva vigitanitam. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Antavattu phalam desham tad bhavati alpametasam devan devayajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamavi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Sloka 24, the last of the day. Abhyaktam viktim apanam manyate mam abudheya patram bhavam ajanando mam dhavyam anuttamam. Unintelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Hare Krishna. Let me start with a small story. Bhakti is all about faith. If you don't have faith, you can't have bhakti. And if I have to explain it as a science student, the amount of bhakti is directly, the amount of faith is directly proportional to your bhakti. And as bhakti increases, as faith increases, bhakti increases, as bhakti increases, faith increases. So we really have to have that much of faith, like one of a small story which I'm going to tell you now. In Maharashtra, a very famous saint, Sant Tukaram, you might have all heard of him. He always sings Vittala, Vittala, Rukmani, bhajans. So one of his disciples asked him one day, Gurudev, why is it you keep on singing this bhajan every day, every time you go? I mean, what is the purpose behind it? And why you are so confident that Vittala is there? Is there some reason why are you singing this? He gave a beautiful answer, and that really inspired me. What he said was, If you go to the village in India, I'm telling of the old villages, now villages are also changing. The villages have houses, typically, let's say 70 to 80 houses. There will be one house, some distance, second one. And the whole village will have around 70, 80 houses. And there will be dogs, even grouped in zones. The first 5, 6 houses will have 2, 3 dogs. The second zone will have some 8 dogs. Like, let's say there are some 40 dogs in the village, all in different zones. And in the middle of the night, one dog in zone 1 sees the thief. Just for a brief second, he starts shouting, he starts barking. The other dog with him doesn't even know what has happened, they start shouting, they start barking. Because they are sure that he has seen something. Now zone 1 starts and then zone 2 starts. And someone has shouted that koi to aaya bhai. He started shouting. Like zone 1 to zone 10, all the dogs are barking based on the faith that one dog has seen something. And dog is an animal which is just eating, mating, sleeping and defending. So Sant Tukaram is saying we are little more than that. And being human being, we have the intelligence. So I am also barking because my Guru has seen Radha, Krishna, Vittala. I will continue to bark. You also bark. You also pray. One day you will see. That is faith. That is faith, which moves us. And today, what we're going to see is we're going to see a very common, basic thing, because I thought it's for me also questioning of what is bhakti. So why is it that I'm talking of myself, that I don't have that much bhakti? Why it oscillates? Why is it not so strong? Can I analyze bhakti and find out what is the reason? And how do we improve? And that is what chapter 7 is about. Please understand, when we took a class last month, in chapter 6 was Ashtanga Yoga. I told it's difficult, even Krishna is telling difficult to practice, so it was on a lighter side. But he starts from Karma Yoga to Dhyana Yoga, chapter 6 ends. But 7 to 12, if you remember the Vada Pav story, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti in the middle, the Vada is there. So from 7 to 12, we have to become really serious to understand what is Bhakti, why we are unable to practice to that extent, what can help us, and that's what Krishna is explaining from 7.1 to 19, and then 20 to 30 is talking about Devta worship. Now Devta worship is a topic which I'm going to touch in the last part of it. So let's try to see what is Bhakti, and that would give us some knowledge. Bhakti is also an emotion. Love is an emotion. You agree with it, right? Love is also an emotion. We all love somebody, our parents, our children, our friends, society, community. Let's take an example whom we all love too much is our mother. All of us love our mother like anything. The emotion of love is expressed to the object of love. Here the object of love is mother. So the emotion is love. The object of love is mother. And how do you express and experience the love is a process on what you do, like you take care of your mother, you speak to your mother, you feed her nicely, she takes care of you nicely, you take care of her health, catch her hands, walk around, talk stories, she feels good, you feel better. So you are expressing and experiencing the emotion called love with your mother, which we all undergo, it's very easy to understand that part of it, because let us now understand how our body is compiled. We have, let us assume there is there are 3 bottles. One more bottle is here. So this bottle represents the external part, which is the gross body, which consists of the entire body, material body. It's made up of Panchabhudam. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, which we can see, which we can feel. This is one plane. This is the external plane. And there is an internal plane, which is the Atma, Paramatma, and our spiritual consciousness. There is internal plane, which we cannot see. So you have the material body with the material consciousness, you have the spiritual body with the spiritual consciousness, and in between is the tricky packet called mind, intelligence and ego. And this decides what is to be done. Now let us look what is mind. Mind is very complicated subject, but to put it in scriptural terms, it's a box filled with impressions. Now, what is impression? Impression is all experiences, what you gather. Good experience, bad experience, bitter experience, sweet experience, everything is gathered in the mind, not in this birth, but birth after birth after birth after birth, it is stored, and that is called vasana. See, that is why Sanatana Dharma is able to explain why when a child is born, everybody is a baby, right? Then why is it the characters are different? Because the vasanas inside the mind is not of this birth, it's for millions of births. We have been born, we have died, we are born, we have died, and but the vasanas have continued, and that's why the characters are different. Now the mind is always intended to enjoy all the worldly affairs. Like you see this Bhagavad Gita, 5 horses, rain and 1 driver, the porch, that picture is very common. So the 5 horses represent the 5 senses. What you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you hear, and what you touch. These are the 5 senses, and this gets titillated. This starts enjoyment because of something external you like. Somebody comes and tickles you, you feel nicely. You start drinking, you feel better. A lot of things can happen. So these are the 5 senses which are controlled by the 5 rains. Rain is the mind. Actually it doesn't control. The mind is running around the senses. And the driver is the intelligence. So he is trying, the intelligence is also gone, then your brain is going in the direction of the senses, and the intelligence and the driver is just going along with it. So that's where the problem starts. When we love our mother, our relation, our community and all those stuffs, it's on the gross platform. We have to love our mother. It doesn't mean that materialistic, you can't love people, you can love people. But mother is for this janma. Next janma we don't know what we are going to be born. Assuming we are born as someone should, we have some mother, some mother, father. Like in Bhagavatam, we have a story of Chitraketu Maharaj. He didn't have a son, he had hundreds, maybe 1,000 wives, I don't know. And he was so worried he couldn't get a son. And then one day in his kingdom, I think Angira Muni comes to his kingdom. And then the king expresses that, I want a child, I want a son to rule. And Angira Muni gives him the blessing. And then one of the wife conceived and she gives birth to a beautiful son. I think his name was Harshasoka. And then they're very happy, fantastic family is going on, everything is blissful. But what happened in this process, the king became very close to the mother of the child, the queen, and he started ignoring the other queens, and they got jealous and they poisoned, the child died. Now Chitraketu could not take this one, and then he went into deep depression, and one day Narad Muni, making it simple, Narad Muni comes and he understands and he tells his son, brings him back to life. And when Chitraketu tells that, oh my son, how are you? He says, who are you? So for this, he's already left the body, he's not, the mother and father is gone. So our problem is we are so much endowed with the current gross body that we know that this is my mother, we have to take care of, you have to take it, there is no choice. That's why Mata Pita Guru Devam is written. But then imagine someone sitting inside, coming with this birth after birth eternally, Paramatma. So everything being on the material consciousness platform, which is very easy to understand, to see, I perceive. But this is very difficult to understand, perceive, see. That's where the problem happens. So how can you do a balance between both? You are a grihastha, you have to do your activities, you have to take care of family, you have children. But then that is not everything. If you are just going to take care of the gross part of it, then your spiritual part goes for a toss. Now Krishna is going to explain how we are going to increase the spiritual part of it in sloka number 7.1 to 7.20. It's very easy to talk about mind, intelligence, ego. We feel that it's subtle, we cannot see it, we can control it. But then even Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chanchalam in Mana Krishna. Mind is so obstinate, so resolute, it cannot be controlled. So let's forget to control the mind. So at least let's start engaging the mind. And that's where intelligence starts playing, because it's placed above the mind. But above the intelligence comes your ego. Ego again is two types, false ego and true ego. False ego is main, I am everything, I am the doer. And your true ego is, there is a doer inside, there is a controller inside, and I am the servitor, I am supposed to serve the Supreme Personality. Once you start understanding all these facts, the mind slowly starts realizing, based on the 5 factors which I am going to tell you, which Krishna has told in the 720 slokas. Once you start practicing that, even for me, even if I start practicing that, it's going to help me a lot. One interesting episode before I start this one was a disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, "You're telling me to chant and distribute books and kirtan and all. What at the end of the life if there is no Krishna? At the end of the life, if those don't have Krishna, मैं तो पूरा वेस्ट कर दिया जिंदगी, बर्बाद कर दिया, just singing and dancing and feasting and chanting and ये प्रभु जी, वो माता जी and all. So my life is gone." So Prabhupada says, beautiful explanation. He says, what you're doing currently is what you're getting up in the morning, you're chanting, which is meditation. You're eating Krishna Prasadam, which is fantastic, not going to the hotel and eating some corrupt food. You're walking and distributing books. You're not worried about working outside because you're already working in the temple. And then afternoon you come back, again you have Krishna Prasad. Evening again you go for distribution, Aarti, you are jumping, your health is good, you are happy. So if you are happy by doing this process, if there is no Krishna, you have not lost anything. But if you are happy and if there is Krishna and he comes, what happens to you then? So let's be of the fact that Krishna is going to come. We are happy doing these factors. All this routine stuff, what we are doing, nothing absurd, nothing competitive, nothing jealous. We are just inviting people, talking to them, chanting to them, going to their house, doing kirtan in the park. And I remember in Bahrain when we started this movement, stalwart is here, Mahavishnu Prabhu, they are all started long back. And then we continued it. There is got a lot of restrictions. You cannot do kirtans on the open place. And that gives you the urge to go and do kirtan because the mind is revolutionary. No, you cannot do it, but you cannot do it. So you are trying to arrange a hall, close the window, close the door, someone sing from outside, koi mullah aa gaya, sheikh aa raha, and you do the kirtan inside. That gives a lot of pressure. But today in Canada, we don't have those stuff. Go to the park, start chanting, nobody is going to ask questions. So it's so blessed that from the Middle East, when we come, we see a completely different atmosphere of chanting here. So, as Prabhupada says, let's be happy, and if Krishna comes, it's bonanza. So just enjoy life. So Krishna says, how do you increase your bhakti? There is a process to it. Now this is what, including me, when I am saying we have to listen very carefully, this is going to help us a lot. Krishna says the first process is hear. Hear about me. Okay, this is written in Bhagavad Gita. I am just putting it in a simple way. You can read it later. He says, just hear about me from bona fide people. I remember when I hear this bona fide, Dr. Krishna Prabhu was giving a class in Bahrain in my house, and he was telling that one of the guy had gone for a discourse, and there the Maharaj was telling him chapter 15, sloka number 15. Sarvasya chaham iti sannivishto. So that sloka is there. And this guy is giving explanation to the crowd. Sarvasya, sabko, चाय पीना है तो इतनी सन्निविष्ट स्टव की जरूरत है. So he was telling it was serious in a big seminar. This guy is giving a class. So there is more than 900 interpretations of Bhagavad Gita in India alone. And I don't know, it was 5 years back. Record today how many we have come as now. That's the reason we simply follow ISKCON Bhagavad Gita as it is, because it is just as it is. Whatever is translated, what Krishna said, it is there in front of you. So that we don't have the preacher's creativity into Bhagavad Gita and present it to us in a different way. So that's the reason it is mentioned, Bhagavad Gita as it is. But a lot of people keep the book as it is inside the cupboard, so you need to take it outside sometimes, start reading the book, it helps a lot. So he says, hear from bona fide people, because hearing from bona fide helps you a lot. And here, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Charitanya Charitamritam, all Krishna's Leelas, Krishna's pastimes. By hearing, what happens? First process is here. Second process is knowledge. Hearing gives you the knowledge. And knowledge, again, Krishna tells is of two types. It's called Jnanam and Vijnanam. Jnanam again is the matter and the spiritual potency of Krishna, which is called as Jnanam. What is Krishna trying to explain in matter is he's telling you, try to see me everywhere. I am the light in the sun. I am the light of the moon. You see some beautiful people here, I am the beauty in them. You see some guys singing excellent, I am the ability in his song. If you take a throat cell of Lata Mangeshkar and you take a throat cell of yours, there is not going to be any difference. There is hardly no difference. Our muscles might be more strong because of the practice. So what is it? It's ability. So appreciate the ability of the people. Krishna has given everyone some kind of ability. Someone taps it, someone doesn't tap it, someone is not even aware of it, someone is aware of it and does not tap it. But intelligence and ability is given to everyone. So when you see something like this, when you're walking, that day it was raining, the fragrance of the soil, Krishna says, I am the fragrance of the soil. When you look at the wind blowing, he says, I am the wind. When you're drinking water, he says, I am the taste of water. So he's present everywhere. So the knowledge is given, Jnanam, is present everywhere. Start looking at me, start feeling me, start seeing me. And then you will feel that I am there with you always. See, all relatives, all friends, to a certain extent, we can spend time. But there is only one personality with whom you can spend time 24 hours. Is there within you, guiding you, giving you the complete free will. Do whatever you want, I am there. But if you do mistake, you will have to go through it. So that's the story is giving. So knowledge, Jnanam is given basically to understand that presence of Krishna is felt everywhere. Vijnanam is a second level where you start understanding the sweetness of Krishna. That's 7.19. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanam Prabhadyate. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So a lot of birth one has to go through this process, and who knows me, surrenders to me. Such a person is very rare. So let's not feel bad because Krishna himself is telling such a person is very rare. But we can be happy that we are on the process going towards the rarity. So that's what we are all trying for, we are all aiming for, we are all practicing. So hearing from bona fide sources, knowledge, which is Jnanam and Vijnanam. And the third, because when you hear, when you accumulate knowledge, what happens? Your doubts about me gets eliminated. Krishna hai kya? Sachi hai kya? Itna problem ho raha hai zindagi mein, Krishna kidhar hai? So much issues are happening, I can't see him. Are you enjoying my misery? We think we are leading a horrible life. Can you just step back for a minute and think? We are born in a hospital under the care of a nurse. We are taken back home. There is mother to take care of us, father to take care of us, friends and relatives coming and meeting. We go to a school, go to a college, study, pampered, education, job, shadi, fir barbadi, that is different. And then life goes on. Imagine what happens to Krishna and we are complaining our life is miserable. Krishna was born in a jail. Can you imagine? He was born in a prison. Devaki and Vasudeva were chained. His own uncle wants to kill him. Comes up. What are we? We are complaining about our life. Krishna someone is waiting to kill, and he is born in the same night. Krishna is separated from his parents. Goes on a basket, crosses the Yamuna, goes to Nandagaon. Rest of his life with Nanda Maharaj Yashoda. And we were getting relatives and friends to see us who were coming to meet Krishna. Putana, Trinavrita, Akasur, Bakasur. Imagine what his life was. All the demons you name it, he was there. Now Krishna is giving us a lesson that is born as a human with some superhuman qualities, but please understand, even I have undergone all those stuffs. So what happens at the age of 10 when he is enjoying his life? He is getting separated from all his dear and dear ones. He has to go with Balram to go to Mathura to what? Kill Kamsa. At the age of 10. And then after the age of 10, what he has to do? To bring in governance in Dwarka. And there also there is no Shanti. He is attacked by Shishupal, Dandavakra, and then enters into Kurukshetra war, guiding the Pandavas, going through the war, Rangniti and all those stuff. And at the end of the war, what happens? Gandhi gives him a curse. He takes the curse. And then end of life, a hunter hits in his leg thinking it's a deer ear or something. He leaves the world and the dynasty is gone. Our life is not that bad. Our life is much, much better. So we don't have to complain about our life. Especially us, we should never complain, and we are always thankful to him. So, hearing about it, getting the knowledge, getting the doubt eliminated, this all is a process. Now when these three processes happens, the fourth process happens, you get inspired to surrender to Krishna. Because most of the things is done, now you are inspired, you want to surrender to him. Now when you want to surrender to him, the next process starts, which is called the Bhakti Yoga. You know, when you are expressing love to your mother as express and expressions, here the same process to Krishna, here the emotion of devotion, the object of devotion is Krishna and the process is Bhakti Yoga. That's what we are all trying to do. So if you can hear about Krishna, build your knowledge about Krishna, eliminate the doubts about Krishna, get inspired, start practicing Bhakti Yoga, you end up with your mind getting attached to Krishna. And that's the success of life. If mind is attached, Antakala, what's going to happen? You're going to remind him, you're going to remember him. That's it. If you remember Krishna, he says, whatever you remember at the time of death, you're going to attain it. And that's what Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita. So let us follow this process as seriously as possible, keeping our life in balance, and then I think we will definitely get bhakti one day and we'll be happy about it. So this is the process. Now let us come to the actual sloka also. There is two extremes in life. One extreme is who have accepted Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is the other extreme who has rejected Krishna. Now Krishna talks about who are the people who come to him. He says four categories are there. Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, Jnani. Those who are in distress, those who want wealth, those who are inquisitive about who am I, what am I kya karna, what is happening, And the fourth is Jnani. And Krishna says among this fourth, I am fine, Jnani are the best. Now even Jnanis have attained Krishna. Who are the classic example? The four Kumaras. They were Jnanis. Now Krishna says that is extreme, who have accepted. Now who have rejected, the various kinds of people rejected. It could be demonic people, it could be Mayavadis. And also please understand there is a word called impersonalism. Now people get confused with impersonalism. I'll make it very simple to explain to you. Impersonalism has two contexts. Within impersonal, it is personal and impersonal. So impersonal believe in the personal form of Krishna, but they are attracted to its impersonal form. They are called the Brahmavadis. They are accepted by Krishna. We feel that one who merges with the light, Brahmavadi, they are Mayavadi. No, Mayavadis are entirely different. Brahmavadis are different, Mayavadis are different. Brahmavadis believe in the personal feature, but they are attracted towards the impersonal feature, and they may merge on the light and still become Brahmavadi, but Krishna says that is acceptable to me, but not the Mayavadis. And who are the Mayavadis? Very simple. Mayavadis are those people who believe that there is no form to the Lord. And if there is a form, then you are the lowest intelligence as per them. And as per us, believing in the form is the highest intelligence. So Mayavadis don't believe in the form, and when they start worshipping, they worship their deity, and by the power of their devotion, they completely break down the deity into powder, just complete powder form. And then they feel that we have transcended this worship and go into vacuum. Too much for us to understand. Now, current day Mayavadis, they don't have the power to even break the deities, they break the deities. And then they say we have transcended the form. So we don't have to worry about it. Mayavadis are people who are completely into the impersonal form. Even Brahmavadis are also accepted. So what about us who believe in Krishna, who decorate Krishna? So we don't have to worry about it. So between the two extremes, one who have completely accepted Krishna, one who have completely rejected Krishna, in between there are people who have accepted other forms of Krishna which is related to Krishna, and they are the Devatas. Now, we don't want, in Prabhupada time we used to use demigod. That time in the last 50 years things have changed in the North American context. Demigod means, immediate what comes to the mind is a combination of a human and a god. Actually that is not, let us use Devata only, it is easy to understand. So Krishna says, either you come touch your nose dust or you can go around, the effect is the same. So you pray to me, fine. You don't pray to me, absolutely fine. You want to pray to the Devatas, pray to the Devatas. They will give you short-term benefits, no issues about it. But even those terms and benefits are given to them from my side only. So, in short, worshipping Devatas is not an issue, please. Because some people, we go into this concept that those are all wrong notions, which is not done generally. You are nobody to disrespect a Devata. Please understand, we are on a lower platform. Who are we to disrespect any Devatas? So Krishna says, you can go to Devata. Krishna is not waiting for his glorification from us. We are waiting to glorify him. So either we go to the Devatas also, we have bestowed the same benefits, but that is again, they have bestowed the benefit to Krishna, so nothing works without the sanction of Krishna. So basically 6:15, any question? Probably accepting any question is fine. Any questions here? Otherwise we can wind up. I'm just joking. Yes, bro.
Very enticing class right from the beginning. My question is, when you spoke about Mayavadis, when Lord Buddha is propagating Nirvana, is that Mayavad or Brahmavad?
That's a very difficult question for me to answer. Because what happened, these are all some tricky questions where you quote without complete knowledge, it might bounce back. So we just know that Mayavads worship the impersonal form, and Prabhupada has mentioned it at hundreds of places in all his lectures that one should not be a Mayavad. Now, whether Buddha's form is Mayavad, Dharma is a very difficult thing, I have no idea. Sorry. Please, probably you know you can answer.
Yeah, so Buddha is Shunyavad. It's not neither Brahmavad nor Mayavad. So there is a difference between Brahmavad, Shunyavad, Nirvisheshvad, everything. So that's why like Prabhupada's Pranati Mantra, we have all the fours. Prabhupada is taking care of all the fours.
I have a follow-on question to that. Whether you call it Shunyavad or whether you call it Mayavad, avatar of Krishna is propagating that. How can we, and I understand that even in Bhagavatam it says that there was a purpose with which Lord Buddha at that time propagated it. But at the end of the day, avatar of the Lord cannot lead people to a meaningless destination. It still has to be a destination that is worth something, from where they can progress further. And that's my question, that how can it be that whether you call it Shunyavad or whether you call it Mayavad, that it is rejected. Hare Krishna.
So it is, Shastras are written in such a way that it is trying to uplift every individual to a higher level. So a person who is in the mode of ignorance, for him it is the Shastras are written for them to elevate to a mode of passion. Person who is in the mode of passion, for them to move to goodness. And person who is in the mode of goodness, for them to move to transcendence Shuddha Sattva. Now point is, if we say that it is only ignorance, like for Mamsa, like you can eat meat, if we say only that part, then that is not right. But we say we give the spectrum to everyone. This is there, this is also there, this is also there, and this is the highest. When we give the spectrum, then a person can choose what is the current consciousness and where they want to reach. So Prabhupada is, when he is chastising, because he is a Shuddha Bhakta, he has the authority to chastise. That because he is telling something from a very highest perspective. That's why we say at our level we should be respecting each and every one. What to speak about Buddha? Every individual, even Charvak Muni is glorified in our Shastra. That is acceptable. So you can understand what is the context of our Shastras. It is accommodating each and every individual, each and every philosophy, but it also is giving the highest philosophy for a person to choose, who has the ability to choose that. Does that help?
Can I take 1 minute? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sri Lanka, and those days there were a lot of learned scholars, highly knowledgeable scholars, all reciting Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita and all. On that crowd there was one Brahmana. You are aware of it, right? So extreme knowledge, Mahaprabhu says, don't worry about extreme knowledge. If you can just feel for the Lord, otherwise knowledge can take you into different dimensions. So when the Brahmana started crying, Mahaprabhu said, this is what is needed. Forget the what the Brahmanas are chanting over there. Thanks so much. Not you, Mataji, I'm learning from you only.
Regarding this question,
Yeah, good.
I recently asked a very great person whom I am learning from right now. So the same thing he told me, that as per our Sampradaya, if you read up the definition of Vedas, the definition of Vedas is given very aptly by Jiva Goswami Pad, including all the Purva-pakshas or all the oppositions that can come. So one of the opposition that was raised was the same thing that you said, Prabhu, that he is a Vishnu avatar. And we say that Vedas are apaurushaya, right? That which is transcendental above the material modes. So considering that he is an avatar of Vishnu, whatever Vakya is spoken from his mouth, somebody will argue in the future. Our acharyas were so knowledgeable that he said that somebody will say that because he is an avatar, that is established, Buddha avatar. And whatever he says has to be apaurushaya. But it has been clearly stated, and Krishna is also, by the definition given by Jiva Goswami Pad, there are certain things which define that what is an Apta Purush, which you mentioned just now, is a bona fide person. So Krishna has said only the Apta Purush Bhaktatva is the Veda. Okay, so when it is spoken by a qualified person. So this qualified person, one of the qualities of that qualified Apta Purush is he should be immersed in Vedas. He should be completely, a walkie-talkie, you can say, immersion of Vedas. And when Buddha comes, he is rejecting the Vedas. So he is not an Apta Purush, even though he is an incarnation of Krishna, but he is not an Apta Purush. You can, Apaurushaya will only be the Vedas, which are eternal. And some of the Sampradayas are not accepting even Bhagavad Gita as Apaurushaya, because it is, as you said, the Mayavadis and all, they will not accept the personal form. So for them, Vedas is the ultimate. Like, they believe in the Vedas, but they won't accept the Paurushaya, because they are saying he's a Purusha, he came in the Nara Leela, he's an avatar, ultimately, for them. So, this definition of Jiva Goswami, please go and read up, and you will understand that this Aptapurushta is not there in Buddha, and so his Vakya is not accepted because he's rejected the Vedas. Yes.
The verse Prabhu quoted.
Yes.
15th chapter, verse 15. सर्वस्य च अहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर् ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तरित् वेद्विदेवं च. So if Lord Buddha is an avatar, and in that words Krishna himself is saying that I am the creator of the Vedas, I am the knower of the Vedas, and the purpose of the Vedas is to know me. So I don't want to get into the debate of Purusheya or Apurusheya. The fact that he is acknowledged as the avatar of Krishna, so if Krishna himself is speaking, my point is he cannot lead people to a place where he himself rejects that place. My point is he's taking them somewhere halfway through, perhaps to elevate, as Amognam Prabhu was saying, from where there is a further journey to be had. But it cannot be that he takes them and says that that place is rejected by me. That was where I was coming from. And that's where my doubt is.
So that's
Hare
what
Krishna.
Krishna does. Of course, later on we know that his incarnation had a purpose. That because people were killing animals indiscriminately.
And having this sacrifice, which was there. But the thing is that for this reason, Krishna, the Vedic definition is very, very strong for how to accept that as apta and to be accepted. So Jiva Goswami Pada has written that, and he has even explained this incarnation of Buddha. So you can actually go into it and read. This is not my thing, this is what I heard from my teacher. So you can definitely read out that just for an interesting purpose, that why we don't accept his teachings. We accepted all the other avatars of Vishnu, we are even celebrating their appearance days and this, but because of the Vedic rejection, that is what.
Thank you so much, Nandasuta Prabhu, for a very enlightening class. If you have any further questions, maybe they can take them up with you during Prasadam time. Alright, so we will now continue with our next part of our program. So we will have some special verses and shlokas being recited in honor of Purushottam month. So while we get set up for that, I'll make a couple more brief announcements. So following the Purushottam month verses recitation, we'll have our bhajan evening. And then also I wanted to mention that we have a Manjari group, which is a special group for persons that are new to Krishna consciousness. And so in that group, we will discuss topics about what Bhakti Yoga is, what Krishna consciousness is, and what all of this is about in a very close environment. So if you're interested in that, you can reach out to Nishant Prabhu, he's over there, he's raising his hand, and he can add you to that group. And as part of one of our initiatives, we also have a monthly book club where we systematically read Srila Prabhupada's books together. And the book for the month of June is Chant and Be Happy. And for all of our newcomers, you'll get this book for free. But if you don't have this book, you can meet our book distribution team over there. They can help you get access to one of these books. That's all for now. And we hope to see you. So we'll have our bhajan evening right after this. So please stay tuned for that. And I kindly ask all the devotees to not begin to set up for prasadam and wait till 7:30 so that we can have our bhajan evening without any delays or disturbances. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.